I'm proud to present his life history before you. Hey, wait a minute. I was too busy talking my idol that I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Pranav. I'm studying in 6th grade at Golden Park Middle School. I'm basically soft-spoken, caring, and an honest person. My hobbies are reading, more non-fiction than fiction, swimming, and playing tennis. I have a wonderful brother named Keshav. He's very caring, aggressive, and loving. I also have two wonderful parents named Priya and Karthik. They're both highly intelligent and keep motivating me to achieve greater heights. I admire them a lot. This is a small mention about me and my family. Now let me start enlightening you with a few details I know about Roger Federer. Now I'm going to move on to talk about his birth, family, and childhood. A Swiss national, Roger Federer, and a South African-born, Lynette Durand, met during a business trip and married. First, they had a daughter named Diana. And after 2 years, Roger Federer was born on August 8, 1981, in Basel, Switzerland. Basel is a 2,000-year-old city on the Rhine. It's home to Switzerland's oldest universities and dozens of museums. Roger spent his childhood in Basel. He took an interest at sports at an early age, playing tennis and soccer at the age of 8. Tennis was a family passion at the Federer home, though neither of his parents nor his sister had any special attitude for the game. Roger showed enough promise to earn the Basel's crack junior program at the age of 8. Now we're going to move on to talk about his junior years. The young athletes excelled at athletics. At the age of 12, he decided to quit other sports and focus all his efforts on tennis. By the age of 14, he was fully immersed in the game, playing 2 to 3 tournaments a month and practicing 6 hours a game along with 3 hours of conditioning. Roger's first sports hero was Boris Becker. From the age of 10 to 14, Roger spent more time with his coach, Peter Carter, than his own parents. Peter Carter was a tough player from Australia who I learned how to make little talent go a long way. The coach taught Roger flawless techniques on his ground strokes and serve and watched them grow into his body and start dominating opponents. In 1995, Roger decided to leave his home to accept an invitation to a Swiss National Training Center in Ecublens, located in the French-speaking part of the country. He would often visit home on weekends and spend time with his family. The first few months were difficult for Roger because his French was not good and he was the youngest and the weakest player in the training center. Daily telephone conversations with his mother and his own willpower assisted him to pass through those troubled times. In 1996, he won the Swiss Junior Championship in winter and summer in the under 16 age category. In 1997, the Swiss training center moved from Ecublens to Spain. Along with the move, Roger's junior coach Peter Carter also joined the training center and once again took care of his ex-protege. And once again reunited with his coach, Roger began a steady rise to world's top junior ranking. After finishing 9 compulsory school years, Roger decided to end his school education and focus all his efforts on tennis. In 1998, he was a finalist in the US Open Junior Tournament and won the Junior Wimbledon. He also won the Orange Bowl, an unofficial junior world tournament, and Roger became world number 1 in junior world ranking. Now, I would like to move on to his professional years. Roger's first professional world ATP ranking was number 301. He had set a goal to be the top 200 by the end of the season. First eyebrows were raised in astonishment when he beat world number 5 Carlos Moya. He represented Switzerland he represented his country for the first time in the Davis Cup and did so splendidly. His Grand Slam hopes for the season ended in the first round of the French Open and Wimbledon with an honorable defeat. He also won the Challenger level in Brest, and Roger ended the year as world's number 64 and is the youngest member of the top 100, a true sensation. In 2000, Roger decided to leave the Swiss training center to stand on his own feet. He decided upon Peter Lundgren, a tough Swedish player who had insights into the pros that Carter lacked. It also showed that Roger had a ruthless objectivity about his career. But he also made sure to consult constantly with Carter. He represented Switzerland in the Sydney Olympics. Despite tough competitors, he managed to reach the semi-final barely missing out on a medal. But he did not leave Sydney empty-handed. He met a Swiss tennis player, Mirka Babinek, in the Olympic Village. The relationship blossomed in the ensuing years. And Roger ended the year as world's number 29. In 2000, Roger started the year 2001 with an incredible victory in Milan, Italy. He lost in the round of 16 in the Australian Open. He was playing on centre court of Wimbledon, the most famous tennis court in the world, and his opponent was no less than Pete Sampras, who had already won 13 Grand Slam titles. Roger defeated Sampras in a dramatic match of 5 sets. The tennis world was stunned. Even though Roger lost in the quarterfinals, he is known as the player who could defeat Sampras in Wimbledon. And Roger ended the year as world's number 13. In 2002, he started the year 2002 with a splendid victory in Sydney. However, he dropped out in the first round of the French Open and Wimbledon. And on August, he dropped another first rounder at an ATP tournament in Toronto. That same night, his youth trainer and Swiss Davis Cup captain Peter Carter passed away in an accident during a holiday trip in South Africa. Roger was profoundly shaken. He made arrangements for Carter's funeral. His body arrived in Basel on his 21st birthday. Now, it was all the more important for Roger to win the Davis Cup in remembrance of Carter. Of course, Roger did brilliantly, contributing to 2 victories and capturing singles and doubles titles. He also qualified for the Masters Cup of the top 8 players and he ended the year as world's number 6 and was the only top 10 member to win multiple singles and doubles titles. Roger started the year 2003 on fire, winning his first 10 matches in a row. When the clay court season started, Roger took the first tournament in Munchen without dropping a set. But the French Open, he bowed out at the first round. And when the glass court season started, Roger won in Hale and proceeded to Wimbledon. And this time, he was up for the challenge. Despite suffering severe backache, Roger managed to defeat the number 1 seed Andy Roddick in an extraordinary semi-final. And on July, it finally happened. Roger defeated Mark Philippoussis in just 3 sets to hold up the Wimbledon trophy for the first time. And he ended the year as world's number 2. The year 2004 was a fantastic year for Roger. He won 11 singles titles, which included the Grand Slam tournaments of Melbourne, New York, and Wimbledon. And Roger became world number 1 in tennis. In 2005, Roger engaged Australia's Tony Roche as his new coach. He defended his titles in the US Open and Wimbledon and established his longest series of 23 victories. The year 2006 was a fantastic year for Roger in respect of number of tournaments won. His first triumph in Basel was an issue close to his heart. He used to be a ball boy in Basel tournaments and dreamed of playing on central court. At last, he won in front of every eyes of his numerous friends and his own crowd. The victory at the Masters Cup sealed an incredible victory for Roger and he ended the year as number 1 for a 3rd consecutive time. In 2007, as usual, Roger captured 3 Grand Slam titles and was a finalist in the French Open. And Roger became world number 1 in tennis for the 4th consecutive time. On April 11, 2009, he married his fiancée Mirka in Basel. After the wedding, they both traveled to Paris and Roger experienced a nerve-wracking tournament where he won the French Open for the first time, thereby accomplishing his career Grand Slam. In 2010, he won the Australian Open and the World Tour Finals. And the Roger Federer Foundation organized 2 matches. Match for Africa won in Zurich and Madrid. They were both charity matches against Federer and Nadal, where Federer won 1 and lost 1. The foundation raised 2.5 million Swiss francs, and the money would go for a good cause for kids in Africa.